Dang, a jam-packed episode of NXT. Shayna Baszler means business. Finn Balor means business. Maria Menounos is back and he means business. It's going to be hotter than chestnuts roasting because the NXT After Show starts right now.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, the sounds of Iron Man means one thing, NXT, and it is officially the Wednesday Night Delight. How's everyone doing? My name is Flobo Boyce. I'm so glad to be in your life and on your second screens. NXT comes to you live from Full Sail University, where the sawgrass meets the sky. We have so much to talk about today on this episode. Before we do, let's introduce our panel. Hey, introduce our panel. Oh, my far left, she is a correspondent from Championship Wrestling from Arizona, and that is undisputed. Give it up for the Emmy-nominated Emily May.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad you're back.
I know, it's been way too long. I love NXT, so I am here.
Yeah, it's awesome. And on her right, this guy, you can call him punk rock, you can call him amazing, you can call him the man himself, you can call him one half of the AfterBuzz TV Wrestling Tag Team Recap Champs of the world, David Christopher. How you doing?
What's going on? How we doing? I'm good. You know, I'm awake now. I'm feeling the vibe, feeling the energy.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm present.
Oh man, NXT's on me out, but before we talk about hot, the man is the owner of the King's Court, half man, half amazing. He is a controversial firebrand. Hashtag heel Jim Alexander. How you living?
Bonjour. No, I ain't playing that. Of course I have more to say than that. I'm just on a little bit of a high, so now I'm subdued. I had a good conversation with Lana and Rusev separately today. And
Nice.
Separately.
Good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff.
Irresistible to both sexes.
Lana's all about the King's Court, by the way. Just letting you know.
I mean, after this stuff with Lashley, I mean, you know.
Yeah, well,
Was she the one call she made from jail?
Hey, she had that one free phone call.
That is kind of weird.
Still in Nashville.
Alexander.
Yeah, that's who you call.
Yeah, NXT. Okay, overall thoughts about today's show. NXT, we're about a week and a half away from Survivor Series and WarGames. Just overall thoughts. Emily May, I want to start with you of today's episode.
God. Wait, today's episode?
Yeah.
Or like, oh my God.
Let's go about this last 2 months.
I was like the last month. Well, I think overall, I mean, you're coming back from like a few weeks after Survivor Series and WarGames, and so again, you have to bring it. You have to show your talent, and NXT brings it every week. So.
Punk rock.
Yeah, I mean, you know, here's the thing. We were on this high with the NXT brand, going into WarGames, to Survivor Series. I mean, they were just kicking butt.
Yeah.
It was just. It was really fun. I feel like you're on this roller coaster, and I almost feel like not we're going down, but it's kind of like just kind of smoothing out, even
Yeah.
Well, now
you know what I mean?
Now there's like the chance to build a little bit more story.
True.
You're trying to like balance. You can't always be at a. Oh, whoops.
True.
You can't always be
You
at
just drop like NXT. You just drop it. I agree with it.
I'm like Jack. I'm gonna throw some pens.
Yeah.
No.
But and right, give credit where it's due. They had a great, solid run. Eventually, we got to go down a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at right now. But let's see where it goes.
Jim Alexander, thoughts about the match, especially after coming after Raw, and Raw had its own challenges, but thoughts about this week's edition of NXT?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not as hot as it was going into WarGames and Survivor Series.
Yeah.
They were on top. I mean, where do you go after you kind of dominate at Survivor Series? Not only WarGames, that they did an awesome job, but it's just going to naturally take you down a bit. And I felt it. There wasn't that hype and energy kind of going into that pay-per-view where they're all like, there was a lot of... Yeah, that energy just wasn't recreated.
Right.
It's kind of back to a regular show, which is fine. It's a good
It's
show,
normal. It's normal.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's not riding that hot special momentum they had in the last few weeks.
So about momentum. One Pete Dunne had a match with Killian Dain today.
Right.
Pete Dunne has been. You can argue over the past month. Besides Adam Cole, maybe Keith Lee, Pete Dunne got a lot of elevation on Survivor Series and WarGames. The match himself, he was on the losing end. Jim Alexander, may I start with you? Pete Dunne, when he was here 5, 6, maybe a year ago, was considered one of the best, but he lost to
The
Killian Dain
most
tonight.
up-and-coming guy. I mean, 2 years ago, he was putting on matches of the year when no one knew about him.
Agreed.
He was NXT UK. Why is he losing still? Why is he still losing? There's no reason for him to lose cleanly tonight.
Right.
I know it's a kind of a weird pin and all that, but Killian Dain isn't as over, never will be as over as Pete Dunne has the potential to be and should be.
Right.
I just don't like him picking up loss. I know when we talk about wins and losses don't matter, it matters for a guy like this because he was kind of stuck in a rut. and he needs every win to boost himself back up there, build himself back up where he was supposed to be. I just don't like him seeing and clean losses for sure. No way.
Yeah, Jim, I have to back you on that, man. I don't know why he took that L. I don't get it. I'm with you. The guy's got so much talent, so much potential. I mean, he needs the right push, man. Give this guy a break. Like, watching those matches he had recently, I mean, especially with Riddle going in there. I mean, the championship match, I mean, when he had with Cole, I mean, just killing it, man. This guy deserves so much more. And to see him taking out tonight, I was kind of like, what's going on with this? Like,
Doesn't
he
help.
needs...
Well, I'm actually curious, Emily. What do you thought about the actual result first, about the match?
Well, so we were kind of like talking about it, kind of going back and forth, and like you guys said, Pete Dunne is really, like, they're both really phenomenal, but Pete Dunne really has this story that can be built, but isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
And he keeps losing. He had really great moments the last few weeks, and so I think they're gonna find where he fits into this NXT world. We just have to wait a little bit. Yeah, we have to wait a little bit longer. But I really wanted him to win tonight, just to like get something. Get a little hope and get a little like momentum going, but it obviously wasn't the case.
Follow-up question then. Killian Dain gets a W. Is he more established now?
No,
Is
it
he
doesn't
more-
help him. That W means nothing.
I was asking
No.
anyway.
He was asking me. Where's your gavel? I need it. I need your gavel. No, because really, like, it doesn't. Again, like what you said, it doesn't do anything for him. It does more for Pete Dunne for him to get the win.
Okay.
So I wish that he got it.
What say you in the chat? Shout out to everyone in the chat right now. Dang and Q, Joseph Bozos, Ruckus. All you guys, we appreciate Fun Size 40. I want to say what's up. You guys can interact with the chat all throughout the show. We'll be answering your questions. But I thought the match was okay. It was solid. It was slow. It shows NXT's range. But it was kind of weird that Pete Dunne lost the way he did. He didn't get rolled up. There was no interference. It was just,
It's
I'm just so
odd.
exhausted. I just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Well,
can't do
because
it.
he's so athletic, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, it has to be a better end than that. You
Yeah.
gotta really,
Yeah, better end. I love it.
And I just hope he was wearing a cup. I'll say that. I hope he was wearing a cup.
Yeah, we should always wear cups when you wrestle.
He's a bruiser.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't want to get bruised. Is my okay, so moving on.
Anyway, move on.
Yeah. Before
Let's stay on that.
Before our next match, David, can you tell the world how they can listen to this AfterBuzz shows? Please cut a promo.
Yes, so you can find us anywhere, wherever you like to listen to your podcast, whether it's iTunes, whether it's Spotify, YouTube. Make sure that you're engaging, commenting, giving those thumbs up, liking. We love to talk to you guys. Obviously, we can't do this without you, and it's fun coming here every week and to talk wrestling with you guys. So hopefully you continue to like the show, support us. Again, give us those 5 stars, especially if you're on iTunes. Leave us positive comments, as Flobito has said in the past, because we don't like the negative stuff.
Yeah.
But just show us
There's a point to it.
Right.
Well, I'm incredibly insecure. I read every single comment, and it's kind of, when they like me, I'm cool. But usually,
but yes, because of you guys, we are the ESPN of TV talk, and we would like to stay that way. So please give us that support.
You can hate on
I'm
me.
just saying, they call me Yo Bito, I get offended. You know what I'm saying? Dakota Kai apparently is having this whole thing. She's all like mean and stuff. She had a quick promo backstage, and we'll get to the promos later because I think overall today's episode of NXT put a lot of promos out there that you get to buy into a lot of superstars. I really want to save time to talk about that.
Yeah.
But before we talk about her match later on today, just thoughts about her being a heel, and are you on board with her, the new Dakota Kai, David?
Here's the thing, I'm a little unsettled with how this is going. So at first, yes, we had actually called it before it happened. We talked about it on the air that it was the right time, the right moment for her to become heel.
Right.
But they could have literally gave her such a good push with this heel turn right now, where I feel like even tonight with her getting beat up, and they kind of squashed her a little bit. It was kind of like they should have made her more of a dominant force. They should have made her more just like, oh, she's just enraged now, this bad heel. She's this tough chick.
Yeah.
But I felt like the last few matches, she's kind of putting her flame out a little bit.
We're jumping ahead, but let's go for it. Emily, let's talk about this. So we had this match scheduled. Dakota Kai versus Rhea Ripley. She comes out. She's all like, my girl Mia's going to handle this. And Mia Yim comes out in Tim's.
Yes.
Straight New York style.
Totally.
Go ahead. Walk me through
takes
this.
it on. Well, what do you want to know? No.
No, just walk me through this about Dakota Kai, or about her stock being a new heel.
So I actually like the abundance of heels right now in the women's division. I think it adds some variety. And her heel turn, the last few weeks has been I think she needed it. I think it's giving her the push where she can like have these stories develop and have these matches against people that she wouldn't necessarily be in the ring with. I think that where was I going? I lost my train of thought.
A lot of heels right now.
Yeah, a lot of heels right now.
There's a lot of heels. So is it too many heels? Like,
Yeah,
are we?
who's the
are we?
face? Candice LeRae? Come on, you need a strong face.
But here's the
Candice
thing with that,
LeRae's
like,
a
you know,
heel.
having you come out and just basically annihilate her, you know, I mean, what does that do for our heel that has this oh my god moment recently, right? So
Right.
she could have that positioning to just be this like, oh, awesome, you know, heel, but it's kind of like she's kind of getting her butt kicked, and it's like, well, she's not that intimidating no more.
Yeah, she wasn't even. Miriam wasn't even dressed. It looked like she got
Yeah,
rolled
well,
in.
it looked like sweatpants, and
Yeah,
like I was
right.
like, oh, she
So-
ran out from the back.
I gotta do an ass whooping. That's cool.
Right. So I mean, it's like, yeah, you're literally coming out in sweatpants, knocking out your big heel. It's like, what does that do for her, you know?
It's true.
But I think you need those moments of highs and lows in order to establish that line where like the stakes and objectives later might be a little bit higher. So you have to have like those moments where you are down and then you rise to the mountaintop.
No, right. But I mean, she's literally on that high of just having that shocking turn, you know? So it's kind of like build her up a little bit more, you know? Make her a little bit more intimidating, make her more tougher.
I absolutely
like,
agree with you.
You know?
And the
Do you think she can do it though? Like, is she there yet?
I think she can. I'm not sure if Jim's a fan of
she
heels
should
Dakota
be.
Kai,
She's
but-
in the position to do it.
Yeah,
Now would be
yeah.
the time
Not
to do
everyone
it.
can be on top. Not everyone's
Oh, no,
LeBron
stop
James.
with the LeBron James.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Okay, you know what? Let me ask you this. Rhea Ripley was the female talent that was pushed very, very heavily 2 weeks ago at
Yeah.
Survivor Series. She had some business with Shayna Baszler and the other 4 horsewomen. So it looks like she's going to be the one to have the next match with Shayna Baszler.
She should.
She should.
Yeah, that's gonna be incredible.
Jim Alexander,
Yeah.
is Rhea Ripley someone who's capable of being the LeBron James of her division?
Yes, she is. Not many LeBrons.
What about
but
Jordan?
she could
What
be a
about
LeBron,
Jordan? What happened to
actually.
Jordan?
Jordan?
No, she can beat a LeBron. You know, some people are comfortable with their checks, but not Rhea Ripley. She's there to take that belt off of Shayna Baszler. Who
She
else?
will?
She
You
should
think
be.
she's going
She
to?
should be, but I'm thinking, you think she will?
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
No, I don't think it will happen because I don't see them moving Shayna. We kept on talking, well, Shayna's coming up next. She's coming to the main roster. I think now with that new brand that NXT's become, I think she's staying there.
I agree.
And they're going to keep that title on her. At some point, they're got to drop it because it just becomes stale. There's a difference between dominating and just holding on to it versus then the title being an accessory. And I think it's entering the territory where it's just an accessory. You don't even acknowledge it. It just kind of became like a sticker on her. You know, we need more substance. I think someone taking that title off of her does 2 things. It gives the title more credibility again and notice, and it makes someone look like a star by beating Baszler. Ripley has that look. She legitimately looks like she could be the one that could finally take Baszler out, and you'd believe it. We don't believe Candice LeRae could do it or someone like that, but I do believe she could do it. So this is your chance. They've done this. Don't do the same thing you did with the Southern
Lacey Evans?
Lacey Evans,
Evans,
yeah.
yeah.
This is Lacey Evans
You guys
potentially
got
all
an
over.
agreement like, oh man,
Yeah,
pour one
this
out
is
for
Lacey Evans potentially all over again. Don't make that mistake. Let her take the belt.
Ripley's in the spot. She should. If they're gonna give that title over, she's the one who should handle it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think she can. You know, I feel like she has been dominating the women's division in NXT, and I think it is her time to shine. But I'm interested to see how it's going to play out because, again, you don't want to do it too soon, but you also want to build up to it and have a fine balance where it is where the fans feel like it was a good payoff.
Yeah. Fair enough. But Shayna Baszler was in action tonight. Non-title match against Xia Li. I have my thoughts about Xia Li and about how she was built up over the past couple of weeks, but I want to ask you guys about the match. The match itself was a little different, a little change of pace here for our women's division here in NXT. Jim Alexander, heard that little, you go first. Help me out. What do you feel about the match, Xia Li's prospects, and Shayna Baszler established herself with or without the prop of the Women's X Championship?
Is Xia Li too much like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane?
Wait, how? Well, besides that.
Not the Asians.
Yeah,
no, honestly, but just like kind of like that gimmicky aspect to her. You know, she comes out too cheery and like too happy. I don't want that. You can't be that happy and cheery.
Why?
You can't be. Not if you're going against Shayna Baszler. You need to have some badass spark in you.
No.
You can't be just like, hey, waving flags and, just petting kids and babies.
You don't pet kids.
Whatever.
You don't pet children.
Some kids deserve to be pet.
You're the cool uncle, the creepy one.
I'm not an uncle, thankfully. But you know what I mean? It's like I don't believe her coming out to the ring right away that she has a chance. That's the thing. She just looks too happy.
But
like you're going against Shayna Baszler. You're about to get destroyed. Show some moxie. Show some moxie if it takes.
You need that underdog story. You need someone to fight for, and so she's it. So
she's too happy doing that.
Why you need to be happy? Why can't we have some happiness?
Wait, here's
not against Shayna Baszler.
Here's my take on it. I'm an MMA fan. I have an MMA background, so I was excited about this in the beginning. As I told you, Flo, I was like, this could be really cool if they do it right.
Yeah.
It started off that way.
I saw you nodding.
It started off that way with the striking kicks. I loved all that. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, because they both have the MMA background. Yeah, I was like, this is rad. And then it kind of just took a dive for me a little bit. I was like, oh, on that.
I don't think she's over. To the point, you don't really recognize her. That's the thing. She doesn't stand out when she comes out there. It's just that happy. It's so generic to me. The happy kind of thing. Bring some edge. Bring some persona. And you said she has an MMA background and fighting. She displays that in the ring, but I need that when she's walking up towards the ring. Show me something that makes me believe that you're going to bring that out and actually.
Do you want like a Rousey coming out? That kind of intensity?
No, she doesn't have to be that intense. Like, be yourself. Just don't be that cheery and happy, especially when you're facing Shayna Baszler. Because you're going in. It's like someone being happy going in and fighting Brock Lesnar. You're about to get destroyed.
But what about Bayley though? Bayley, that was her thing forever.
Bayley, Bailey's like I don't know why.
Bayley is my
They put a title on someone.
Flobo, you're gonna have to move it on.
She's not
getting tense in here.
Roger, hit that note, please, man.
Hit the boo thing I'm doing.
Yeah, man, let's have that
Boo thing of the week.
That's right, boo thing of the week. It's actually Xia Li, and here's the reason why I like her. First ever 2-time boo thing of the week. It's not so much the fact she lost. You hit twice.
You get twice.
With the run. I like the way she was built. We saw her a couple years ago on Young Classic. So woefully underpowered. Her stats were at 0. We built her up a little bit, had some dope matches. Won that match a couple weeks ago with Leah by breaking her nose, maybe by accident, maybe on purpose. She has a match with Shayna Baszler, non-title affair, and she got offense in. Her style is different. And to compare her to Io Shirai is a totally disservice. Because 2 things. 1, she got a promo right before saying, I'm angry, which I was on board.
I wasn't buying it.
And fine. And 2, her offense looks like it hurts. It isn't like some ladies or some guys on the roster has these moves where like, I don't believe that at all. I really believe that she can kick me in the face. And that's why Xia Li is this week's boo thing of the week.
Let's go, Leo.
Well, I will second you on that, Flo, because you especially showed me her Instagram where she was doing legitimate striking Muay Thai kicks. So I was like, oh, okay, so she's legit.
You would know.
I agree that in the beginning of the match, I was like, oh, this is something different. When you bring different wrestlers from different backgrounds together that actually don't start as wrestlers, but they train later, they get to bring their background to their work and to the ring. And I think showcasing that just will make it a more diverse roster. And so I can appreciate it. And, I think if they develop it a little bit more and find moments where, they continue that build in the match and keep it engaging, then she's going to, again, be your boo thing 3 times.
Wow.
Well, there's more to being a wrestler than being my boo. She won titles, too.
All hail Jim Alexander.
King's Court, y'all.
He is the most handsome, charming, intellectual, and brilliant man on God's green earth.
Is she related to Siri?
Pay attention when the AfterBuzz King speaks.
Well, I guess
I'm really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I am extremely comfortable right now. This is very comforting for me to hear that voice.
Pet your children.
And whatever it takes. I will not be putting Xia Li in the King's Court. I'm sorry, but I will be putting in Lana. Of course.
She's not on the
I'm going
show.
to plug my own interview with Lana.
She's on the show.
I don't care. Mandy Rose, of course, as always.
When's the last time she's been on
We
TV?
are putting in Alexa Bliss, injured or not. We are putting in Liv Morgan wherever she is. And we're putting Kathy Kelly. You want someone from this show?
AfterBuzz TV alum. Kathy Kelly.
Yeah, I want to put someone in the show? Yeah.
Is she aware she's in the building?
No, now she is. Kathy Kelly, you're coming in. And we have Lashley and Rusev outside the door holding down the King's Court. So this is a good group this week.
Oh my goodness.
So there we go. So
speaking of things I would rather forget, the Forgotten Sons come out and they have a match against, I think was Elena's and Ruff, but I have question marks in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Forgotten Sons looks like they're trying to rebuild them again.
Good.
Maybe the third possible time in the run NXT. Emily May, walk me through this. The Forgotten Sons. Will there be anything they can do now to make you engaged in that tag team or triumvirate?
They can try. No, I just,
Hell no.
yeah, no. I mean, I think there's always a possibility, but I think tonight's match was just not doing it for me. It was an in-between transitional match, so I felt like it was just leading to the next one. So, I mean, we watched it, we kind of chatted about it, but it didn't, I feel like they're going to have a different opponent in order to...
David Crispin, walk me through this. Imagine you submit your tape to WWE, right? They sign
Which
you.
I did. I did, by the way. I did.
You shot your shot?
To the Performance Center.
You submitted
Yes.
your application?
I did submit. Yes,
Yo,
I did.
you gotta hire
Yes.
David Crispin
No
right
way.
now.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Right.
give you the Triple H point.
Yes, yeah, Triple H, if you're watching, please send me down to that Performance Center. Seriously.
There you go.
That's
I did
cool.
submit,
You're
yes.
shooting your
Yes.
shot. You're shooting your
Do
shot.
it.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, cool. But imagine if you do that and they say, this guy's amazing. And you get signed and you train and you hard as you can. They give you the dopest character ever. You come on out. You have a match. And poor Emily May is sitting home going like, I'm not really feeling it. Like these Forgotten Sons. I feel bad.
No offense, because I totally know how that feels.
No,
Like, I get
take
it.
Well, here's the thing, though.
what are they missing?
I can't fault you for that because I felt the same way.
Yeah.
And again, it's not even necessarily, I don't think, their fault. It's more of just the booking. I mean, clearly their opponents too were just fall guys, right? You know what I mean? So it's not like, how can you really be that engaged? You know, it's, what do you expect? So I think it's just a matter of, well, it could be the gimmick, you know, it could be their characters, but also just the booking, and it just was there.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's also like the lineup of the show and the
True,
rundown
yeah.
and like where they're like, oh, well, we only have this much time, and so there's a lot that goes into it. So trying to find like, okay, we can fit this in, and sometimes, you know, maybe later they'll have a better match, but I think, you know, it's also just a rundown of what happens.
Jim Alexander, the Forgotten Sons. Two
They're
questions.
not forgotten by me.
Really? Two-part question. What's missing from them?
Nothing.
They're perfect as they are.
No, they just need better opponents. Like, this is now finally their chance. This is someone we're talking about that they weren't getting pushed. They're kind of in that. Remember, when that tag team tournament happened, they went far in it.
They did.
Okay?
They should have won that year.
They should have won that tournament, okay? And they were really getting up there, and I thought they were going to continue that momentum. I don't know why it was halted. They had the same gimmick, the same group.
Right.
They're over.
So who do you-
Biker
so
gimmicks
who-
work.
who-
These
They're
dudes
not
are
bikers, though.
monsters.
Yeah.
They're not, I thought they were bikers. They're not bikers.
Well, whatever.
They're
like
like
bikers.
What's Killian Dain and what's Cameron Grimes? Are they the biker gimmick too?
No, Cameron Grimes is like he runs a haunted hayride.
No,
That's
Cameron
different.
Grimes is my Barnum. He's my P.T. Barnum.
Jack the Stripper.
These guys are over, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the look, they got the size, they got the skills in the ring. I don't know.
You can't say they're over if people chant "We forgot you" when they wrestle.
That's the gimmick. They're called the Forgotten Sons.
No, because they really are saying you guys are not engaging.
So who can they go against that would make it memorable?
They should go right through that tag team division.
Jim, if you were right now,
There's not many qualified tag teams. There's now teams. There's groups and
say you're
factions
Regal
and-
right now, you're
Yeah.
making these matches. What do you do with
WarGames.
them?
Yeah.
Start knocking people out, interfering in matches for real. Just attack people. Like if you were gonna bring them, either you bring them good tag team opponents, which I think that roster right now NXT doesn't have many tag teams. You're just gonna have to have them interfere and start beating people down randomly with no purpose or thing. Like you're Forgotten Sons. Remember us, bam, knocking out Matt Riddle, whoever, you know.
I like
Is that,
that. I
but
like
is that
that.
going to make
Yeah.
it, like if they do that so many times,
They'll
is that
never
going to be
notice.
meaningful though? If they
It will
just
be
keep,
meaningful
like-
because that's what their promos are gonna be like. You wanted attention, you forgot, we're forgotten now. Remember us after
I'm
this.
with
Yeah,
that. Okay.
that's true. Because
Yeah.
I think their gimmick is supposed to be they're like veterans that are forgotten. Like they return home and they're forgotten.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
they're bikers, but
whatever.
good point. We got to go on.
I remember.
We got to talk about this thing. The Finn Balor promo. I know we're again jumping here at the main event, but David Chris, we're talking about Finn Balor and his positioning on the brand. You're saying that, and this is true. You're saying that he's an elite level guy, which I agree with.
Yep.
And the current NXT champion Adam Cole is not.
Here's my
He's not
thing.
good enough.
Here's my thing where I'm probably going to take a
Heel
lot
day.
of heat for this, and I'm okay with that.
Should I
I'm
move
okay
over?
with that. So here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I like Adam Cole.
Baby.
I like him. but I don't feel he's as good as he's being pushed.
Agreed.
I really don't. I
Agreed,
really
I'm
don't.
always
I don't,
said-
especially when you compare him to like a Finn Balor. I feel like when you look at Finn Balor, that is like a top level elite
He's a
superstar.
He's a star.
Right? When you look at Adam Cole, I think,
Good.
you know,
So,
like,
Emily, let me
he's
ask you
good.
this.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before the internet, you know,
No, they already done.
flips are like,
They
Oh,
already
they,
keep going.
they already are like
Adam Cole is good. Finn Balor is great.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay.
So Emily,
Yeah.
he said this before outside, and you were like, "Oh hell no!" What do you think? What do you think?
So it takes time to build stardom and to build that, you know, that character that is like iconic and that will like stand the test of time. Finn Balor is that has that star quality that like will forever be in like the WWE Hall of Fame. Like you're gonna see him for
will?
years to come.
I think so.
I think so.
Maybe we could talk about that later.
Not the way he's been pushed, but
So, but like Adam Cole's having that moment where like he needs to build that star quality, and like he had that moment at Survivor Series and WarGames, and those moments I think he'll have more of, and that's where he's gonna build those moments where you feel like he is a star and that he can carry the brand.
NXT brand, because he can't carry a Raw or SmackDown, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's
but
what
maybe
I'm
not
saying.
yet.
We're
Maybe
talking-
not yet.
When we talk about stars, you put a star, like for me, a Drew McIntyre. Then you put an Adam Cole next to him. Adam Cole could be serving him lunch or something.
That's messed up. No,
What?
I can't.
No, for real.
Time out,
Adam Cole
time out.
can't hang with a Drew McIntyre.
Wait. You can say Drew McIntyre is better or stronger, but you can't tell me he's like trash to be like, here's your lunch, sir.
Listen, he couldn't even. We're talking about star quality. Adam Cole just looks like the guy. His father owns a pizza place. Like I'd expect Adam Cole to be serving me that pizza for real.
Yeah, okay.
He's the pizza
Okay,
guy
that's
behind
not
the counter.
nice.
Exactly.
I'm not a nice guy.
Oh, Parmesan, baby.
He doesn't have the look. He just appears small. For some
He
reason.
is small, but it's okay.
But small guys have gotten over too.
Right.
But
Well, we
we're talking
always
about
reference,
superstars.
and like what we were talking about before,
Yeah.
you know, the big with HBK, Shawn Michaels, right, who's a big influence on Adam Cole,
Yeah.
smaller guy who's, you know, a legend now.
True.
But I think it comes down to, and I was even comparing Riddle, because there's so many comparisons to Shawn Michaels, so many influences. You know, I think Riddle has more of the grit and tenacity
Yes.
that Shawn has, as opposed to Adam Cole. From when I see Adam Cole, he just doesn't have that.
Who does he compare? What star does he compare?
I mean,
What-
he's
what-
good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's great. I like Adam Cole.
Right.
But I don't see him on that pedestal that they're putting him on right now. I really feel like, bro, or Riddle has a
David,
better shot at
what's
it.
Adam Cole without that group?
That's what I was saying.
I think
That's
the
what I was saying.
Undisputed Era is more over than Adam Cole is
That is true, but I think he can land on his own. Emily, final word before we move on.
as a star.
No, so one of those things is like Finn Balor is like one of a kind, and so you can't so you can't say okay he's going to be have the exact level of star quality as Finn Balor. He has to create his own story and create his own moments, and so you just develop that over time, and he's developing it right now. So I'm not going to count him out.
What is he
until-
developing though?
He's developing his whole brand, his
agree, I
whole
agree.
story.
What is his brand? What is the Adam Cole brand? Because for me, it's Undisputed Era. That's what I know. him as.
Well, Flo, you did make a good point, and I'm bringing to where we are right now with this, because you said, you know, it was almost like how HBK, when he first had his like IC run, he was that gimmick first coming into the Heartbreak Kid, and he was kind of, you know, he wasn't what he became, right?
Right.
So maybe in that sense, maybe that's where the Adam Cole is, finding his mark, developing, getting, maybe as we go, maybe he will evolve into that. We'll see. I'm not counting the guy out. Like I said, he's good, but I just don't see him at that pedestal top level yet.
Fair enough. I got to run. But
Okay,
now
yeah.
we're moving on. It's now time for Punk Rock's Pin of the
Yes. All right.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like
all right.
Forgotten Sons.
Night. We forgot.
All right, right guy. I dig it. Okay. So tonight's Punk Rock Pin of the Night. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna call this one. It's like we're done. That's it.
Hey!
Nice, there we go. All right. No, I mean, I'm gonna just roll because this is the War Games, you know, just rematch basically. I mean, we got all the top stars in there, you know, with Ciampa, with Lee, Riddle, you know, Undisputed Era. I'm gonna go with that for the match of the night tonight. We knew, you know, Lee's getting a great push. He's on a roll right now. We knew he was gonna just dominate at the end, have his moment, which he did. I liked it. Of course, Balor coming out, and then that whole, you know, battle with them, and now we got this crazy match going for who's the winner, or they're gonna challenge for the title. So that will be our Punk Rock Pin of the night because it was the moment of the night, I would say.
Moment of the night. I want to put you to task on this. The former Chris hero Cassius Ohno appears from Europe to have a match about Matt Riddle. You were just disgusted with the guy. Like, why is he back? I don't like him. Is he get all the hate right now? Get all the hate, David stuff out of the way.
No hate, man. There's no hate.
Matt Riddle and the match tonight.
No hate. Here's just the thing. Riddle is on a high right now as well. He's being pushed like Lee. Like I said, when I watched him in that match with Dunne, I mean, I was already with Riddle, but when I watched him in that match with Dunne, I was like, okay, this guy's a real deal. You know, that wrestling technician that he has, you know, he obviously has a little bit of that striking background. This guy is good, man. He's like better than I thought he was. And, you know, and no disrespect to see him come out, and I have already forgot his name.
Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno. You know,
I don't expect you to remember it to begin.
No disrespect to him at all, but I'm like, come on, man. Like,
I will disrespect.
Riddle's not going to lose. I'm just saying, but Riddle's not going to lose.
Yeah,
this match.
I know we kept we kept going back and forth, and I was like, oh, Riddle might lose, and then you were like, no, he can't lose, and we were like going back and forth.
Cassius Ohno?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing back there?
It was a 2-segment match. What happened? I don't know.
It was really long. I was like, oh, it could be.
Thankfully, I was late.
Well, because I was trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it would be like a run-in or something. But you're saying
No, I mean, I like the contrast. You know, we haven't seen Cassius in a while, so it's nice to like see him in the ring and kind of see him kind of go against a Riddle. And you know, I think it was a good highlight match for the night. And you know, Riddle took it home, but you know, it was a dynamic, you know, highlight.
I must have been watching Dynamite or something because what the hell was this? I mean, I would. If Cassius Ohno was on, I would click over the channel in that case. What the hell is he doing on this roster?
He's a wrestling genius. Well, he was there to promote Worlds Collide, the pay-per-view special thing. He was in NXT UK over a couple months ago. Won some matches, lost some matches there. Grant,
he's like the Tony Schiavone of NXT. Okay, right? Yeah, he should come and cut like a promo, like tune in to, you know, like tune into the major, like he should just do promos on air and stuff. He can do that, I guess.
You know what, Cassius? I love you.
I know.
Moving on. Kushida returns.
Yes.
After being injured.
Going with children on the swings. That was cool.
Yeah, pushing children on the swings.
I loved that promo. I loved it.
Oh, so you like him being happy, Jim? It's okay for him to be happy.
He's happy, so you're happy?
Yeah. You know, he's with a kid. It's a happy moment coming down the slide.
You have a heart, Jim. That's awesome.
Coming off the injury, you know.
Originally supposed to be against Raul Mendoza, but Cameron Grimes gets involved in the match. Jim, let me start with you. Thoughts about two things. Cameron Grimes inserting himself in the match and the match itself.
I don't care about Cameron Grimes.
What? You don't like the Mad Hatter from NXT?
It's weird.
Okay.
Biker number 3?
Put him in the group. Match is good. I mean, like I said, everyone can work in this company pretty much, especially on NXT roster. So you're not gonna get bad match. If you get a bad match, then it's something to talk about, really. You know, but I'm just not sold on Cameron Grimes at this point. Okay. Like I haven't been from the beginning. I don't like the gimmick. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but
you like gimmicks from the big city. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Match is fine though.
Emily May. Kushida returns after being hurt by Walter and the rest of Imperium.
Yeah.
His first run was okay, kind of in the middle of the road. Is there any room left for Kushida to really become a star in NXT?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's you're so negative Jim over here.
Yeah,
heel Jim right there.
So, I know, right? I'm not on. I think that there is always room for improvement, but I think this, you know, here you're showing this. It's a good mix of a good match of athleticism and. But again, I would love to know the ideology behind why they matched Grimes up with Kushida, because it was an interesting interesting style.
Yeah.
And they're trying to put. We talked about him trying to put over and create those storylines, but I don't know how effective.
Yeah.
How effective it was.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about something really weird.
I was like, what? You're looking at me?
I'm laughing like, yeah, because she was pushing a kid in the swing, and Cameron Grimes was a guy who shouldn't be at playgrounds.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
But that was very weird.
It's a good contrast. There's a family man versus a weird man.
But I loved the promo about, you know, doing this for his family and you know, for his daughter, and I think that added a very authentic moment where he's out there and the stakes are there, and it's a good return.
Final word, David?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Our main event tonight: Keith Lee, Dijakovic, and Giancarlo Ciampa against the 3 remaining members of Undisputed Era. Bobby Fish is still injured. Finn Balor gets involved, and a huge thing happens. I never get to the match itself, but the end result was a #1 contenders match announced next week. Finn Balor, Ciampa, Keith Lee, the winner, becoming the #1 contender for Adam Cole's title the week after on this somehow semi-pay-per-view edition of NXT. Emily May, thoughts about the match?
Oh my gosh! When Finn Balor came out, I like screamed. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then they had that fantastic moment where Keith Lee's just behind Balor, and he just like rises behind the ropes, and it was. I was like, "You guys watch! I was look!" And it was an incredible moment. And I think I turned to you and said, "Oh, they're not using Keith Lee like in the beginning of the match." I'm like, "Okay, they're not using him, so I think they're gonna use him for the end of the match for a big moment." And then. It happened. It happened. So I think it's incredible. I think they're leading up to that December 18th NXT. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets it. I think it's going to be Keith Lee. So that's me.
That's tough. And we were talking about that. And you know, I semi-called this. You know, we were talking out there. I said I was thinking, because I said triple threat. I thought it was going to be Balor versus Lee versus Cole, right? I didn't see. Ciampa. I didn't see Lee getting thrown in that mix. You know, so
I'm so happy he did.
Which is cool. Yeah, very cool. But I almost think it should just be a 4-man match where we just go pay-per-view with it. You know, I think that would be cool. But again, even in this situation, like, where do we go? Who do we give it to? I mean, everybody is in the right place. Like, Ciampa's good. You got freaking Balor. You know, where's he going? What's he doing? And what would happen with him if he doesn't go for it? You know, what does that do to him? Yeah. So I mean, and then Lee's on his freaking high right now. So I mean, where do we go?
Yeah, and Ciampa had fantastic moments in this tonight where I was like, oh man, he could take it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is simple.
Lay it on us.
Finn Balor.
What?
You can't have Keith Lee, my boy Dominic Djokovic.
Dijakovic. I even got it right.
Djokovic.
You know, my boy, he's on the same level almost as Keith Lee. Keith Lee's getting a little bit more of a push as of Survivor Series and WarGames. But they're still in the same situation. They were kind of feuding together. I feel like they're promoting them. They're introducing them to ourselves, but it's not their time yet. Ciampa just came back from the serious injury. Give him some time to work off the ring rust and all. Finn Balor's supposed to be this brand. I don't care what you say about Adam Cole. Adam Cole's a placeholder because Johnny Gargano couldn't get it done. Let's face it.
Ooh, so that's harsh.
This is now the time. You bring over Finn Balor to this roster. That's a main event player on Raw and SmackDown. You better hand him that title. This is his opportunity because if you put Keith Lee there, there's no way in hell you're going to make me believe. You can't even make Toshida's kid believe that Keith Lee will lose to Adam Cole.
Well, here's
that guy's just so much bigger than him. He would squash Adam Cole.
If Balor loses, though, I don't think it's going to be a clean pin on Balor. I don't think there's no way that could go down.
No, there's going to be something there that's going to happen where it's like not
Balor
a clean
needs
finish.
title.
Well, you see, I agree with you. I think Balor is. Sorry, I cut you off. I think Balor is the future. But you got to finish that Tommaso Ciampa story first.
You have to. It's such an incredible story.
So I think he's going to win. Thoughts?
Who?
Like I think Ciampa's going to win that match.
I could see that too.
Cole retains and opens up the lane for Balor to go on later on. Because why would you have Ciampa there? It's like, Goldie, I want you back, Goldie.
Because Ciampa's been having such strong matches and such strong moments that you have to put him in. I could see that too.
Yeah, but then he's a placeholder. Then it's like you're using Ciampa just to move on a storyline and you're disposing of him. He's too good to be just used to move.
But it happens all the time.
So.
I know, but I still think he's got ring rust, man. The guy's had a serious neck injury. You can't just throw him into Cole can go. No matter what we're saying about him, he can go in a ring. I don't know if Ciampa can run like that right now at this point, coming off an injury. I think it's too much, too fast. Let him ease into it. Finn Balor's time right now. I mean, there's no point of waiting around for Finn Balor. Take that title, have him start that run, and really become a face of that brand.
I think it's going to go, it's got to be either Balor or Ciampa. One of the two.
Can't be Keith Lee, though,
Lee, right? He's on a great run right now, and I think it's just going to keep building. But I think it's too early.
Yeah, I also think that one of the benefits of NXT is because they have the weekly show at Full Sail. You don't have to wrestle every week.
Right.
No.
You can really become the champion, wrestle like once a month or... Well, even our main brand champions. I mean, Brock Lesnar wrestles whenever he feels like it. Exactly. I know that was the last match of the evening, but we have 2 minutes left. I want to talk about the promos of other stars that are featured in tonight's episode of NXT. Before we get to that, NXT year-end awards nominations are open now. So if you guys want to vote on best match or best talent or best feud, you can.
Dominic Djokovic, my boy.
Closer, yeah. So Cassius Ohno got one. Angel Garza, Xia Li, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Finn Balor. Tell me about this, about NXT's like challenge of having quality shows on Wednesday night and trying to build up other talents that are not on. Jim Alexander, are they doing it right for the whole No BS brand, or is it kind of like hokey or kind of a throwback? Like, what do you think?
No, you need the promos. That's one thing this brand has been always lacking. You never. I know they had an hour show, but they never really featured promos. You'd get a quick behind the backstage, little segment with like a faction or group. You never had, or like a quick coming out of the locker room thing, right? With Kathy Kelly running up there.
Right.
I want legitimate promos. We need those legitimate promos. Now it's a time you're building a brand. We need to see individual talent step out. One thing NXT's like, it's got too many factions and too many groups and too many, you know what I mean? Like together, bunched up. Let's see some solo players come out of this in every sense, and promos are the first way of getting in there.
I agree. Sorry not to cut you off, but a hot take on this one. I really agree with you. I think they need that, and that ties into what they've done in the past. And I will say this right now, that I think this is the newest version of WWE's best attempt of recreating the Attitude Era. Because if you look at, let's lay it out. You got those sleazy storylines that we saw in the past, like with Lana and Rusev now. That's definitely a replay. That's a replay. We have the Stone Cold Stunner being used now with Owens. We have everybody doing the super kick now.
Becky Lynch being booked like Stone Cold.
Right, exactly. When you think about it, we got the Razor's Edge being used now. Every move, everything is literally being replayed.
What's old is new.
What's old exactly is new, and you have even with
jeans, I get it.
Yeah, even with NXT, it's almost like DX, which they've literally had DX do. So it's, I think, the new version of the Attitude Era.
The promos work though for you?
Absolutely, because that was a big part of the Attitude Era.
So, quick hot take on the promos. The Balor promo was my favorite tonight.
Yeah.
I think it was that old school, like just in your face, like really artsy promo, and I think they're gonna.
That word. It's an interesting word.
It's a different take on it, and I think if they do more of that in developing that style, I think it's gonna do well for the 2-hour shows on Wednesdays.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I like the fact that specifically in Isaiah Swear's promo, he actually put his chant in there. Who's else? Where's else? So now when I see him, it's like, okay, I'm buying on brand there. I love the fact there's promos there, but it doesn't matter. But some talents like Cameron Grimes in your case, and there's some they're building up here, so props to that. But it's now time for us to get out of here. Thank you so much for checking out this edition of the NXT After Show. Emily May, where can the world find you online?
All right, guys, you can find me online on all social media platforms at Emily May Heller, MAE, for all wrestling content and news and fun.
And fun.
All right.
There you go.
Fun. You can find me on Instagram at David_Christopher_official, or on TikTok now at DavidChristopherOfficial. Find me.
What the hell is that TikTok thing?
All right, Grandpa.
I don't want to watch, but I do. You know what? I tune into Real Talker. That's the place to be. RELTalker.com. Lana, Rusev, we're talking. This is going to be posted real soon. Some really good, juicy stuff coming up there. At the Jim Alexander on social media. You know where you can find me. That's where I'm at.
That's what's up. Straight from the bottom of my heart. Wednesday nights is always my favorite night of the week. I'm Flobo Boyce. Follow me at Twitter, at Flobo Boyce, on Instagram, at Flobito. And please support the homie and buy a t-shirt.
Yeah,
at
good t-shirt.
Flobito.threadless.com. But until next time, buzz you later.
See you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.